Hi, what's up everyone? Welcome to my third daily edition. In this daily edition, I'm going to be talking about last week's DE3 and what I learned. So, this DE3 is going to be covering two things. That is, the formulas that I've got for the topics that we've covered in the last week's DE3 and how I can apply these formulas into my work. So, let's start with the first part, which is going to be the formulas for these two things. Firstly is going to be the frequency polygons and the pie charts. So, yeah, I believe we all know what a pie chart and a frequency polygon looks like. So let's start. The formula that I've researched and figured out a bit for the pie chart is the angle equals, in parentheses, part divided by total multiplied by 360 degrees. So, let's say, for example, this is like, because firstly, 360 degrees is the whole circle. Like, it's basically the whole circle. So that's why when we talk about angles, we take the part and and divide it by the total, and after that we have to take that amount and multiply it by 360 degrees in order to somehow like translate it into pie chart language. So that's how we understand it. Now, to be honest, I just do it in an easier way. I usually do this when I don't have to use angles or I don't have a protractor, and that's the formula for percentages in an angle. So there are of course there are certain numbers that are easier to divide up as angles. For example, 100, we can divide it into angles more easily, or percentages more easily, yeah? But maybe only like multiples of 360 can be divided easily. For example, maybe something like 900 would be easily divisible. Now, next are going to be the frequency polygons. And frequency polygons are the charts that look something like this. Yeah? And it basically tells us the frequencies or the cumulative frequencies of a certain data set. And it's important because it gives us like basically the cumulative frequency, and it tells us where data points are accumulated and how they rise and how they fall over time. And it's basically just another chart that is used to represent information. So those were the formulas for the pie chart and the frequency polygons. Now, to the more important part, because after I've learned all about this, I need a way to apply it, no? Yeah, so in order to apply it, firstly, I want to apply it to my statistics, my understanding of statistics. Firstly, because these two charts are very important in gathering information. For example, when we use a pie chart, it's easier to organize specific and smaller parts of data than a bar chart, because a pie chart is more specific for certain types of data compared to a bar chart. And frequency polygons, it basically tells us trends because it gives us the cumulative frequency of a data set. So it tells us where people want their items to be, because there's like cumulative, it accumulates on a single data point, not really single, but spread around that area more. So that is how I'm going to apply this information to my understanding of statistics. And for my work, I want to be able to make my business model and have more like samples, make it into charts so that I can present it better in my videos, my presentations, and generally how I perceive information when learning in the group. So that was my third daily edition. Thanks for listening and have a great day.